Yeah, yet again I took a wrong turn on the way to somewhere, but I found this. I was on my way to Burnstick Lake, but I missed the turn at Bearberry and ended up over here with these wild horses in the James River Valley. And you know what? I'm kind of glad. I always love seeing these guys, especially now when they're so fat and sleek and kind of sleepy. Eventually, all the little ones did get up to play, but, well, not right away. Some of them just kind of wanted to sleep in. Me, I just kept on going down the wrong road, but eventually when I got down here to TP Pole Creek, I stopped to photograph the mushrooms and then just kind of turned around and went back the way I came. There sure were a lot of mushrooms, though. And on top of this one, a little bug sticking its ovipositor into the cap. I guess it's laying eggs. But much as I do love crawling around on a forest floor, I said goodbye to TP Creek and headed the other direction to Burnstick Lake, where I waded in. It was windy and it was pretty chilly, and I was sure I was going to freeze, but the water was actually pretty warm. And pond lilies are just so fascinating. There's a lot of them at Burnstick Lake, so I shot underwater and above. There was a lot of stuff floating among the leaves. Pieces of broken off water plant, snail shells and dragonfly nymphs along the shore. All sorts of different bugs that had fallen in the water and drowned. Tell you, I was actually getting pretty dizzy trying to photograph this. Things are moving constantly among these leaves. Same with the clouds. I thought for sure I was going to get rained on, but that passed. So I kept on backroading over toward the Raven River Valley and ran into this pair of bachelors. They were by an oil pump jack, and Blondie here was fascinated by a piece of metal on the ground. Could not get it to move. I had really hoped to do a bit of fish spotting at the Raven River, but it must have rained and it was pretty mucky. Pretty though. And lots of these very cool police car moths that were stopping to feed on the asters. But the clouds were really starting to build up, so I circled back, crossing the Raven River again, and found a Canadian cliché back at Burnstick Lake. Yep, that's a loon. And it was a lot easier to photograph than these dragonflies. I tell you, they move like crazy. I had to crank the camera up to 120 frames a second to get anything at all. But man, they're amazing insects. The wildflower season up around Burnstick is kind of winding down now. Paintbrush, a few hawkweed, still lots of butterflies. And I sure wish I'd noticed that little ant down in the corner when I was photographing these tamarack needles. The light was soft and gentle over on Bearberry Creek, and both the cattle and the buffalo seemed to be really enjoying all that lush, tall grass. Me, I was keeping an eye to the skies. The clouds didn't look all that rainy, but I talked to the young lady driving this pickup over here by a hayfield, and she said that they've had a terrible time getting the hay off because it just won't dry. Yes, it has been a rainy summer. But you know what that means? It means rainbows. And it's pretty hard to argue with those.